Today, I'm going to show you one of the best new and upcoming ways to make money online. If you're anything like I was just a few months ago, you're still probably trying to find the right business model to get into. And from the past, I've already tried out SMA, I've tried out drop shipping, I've tried out print on demand, and I can tell you right now that this is the most streamlined and simple opportunity to take advantage of in 2024. This new business model has allowed me to make $10,000 within 24 hours at just 19 years old. And if you're still bouncing around, business to business, you still don't know what will stick for you, this might just be the way. Now, the point of me making this video is not to go all guru mode on you. I think we're all pretty tired of that at this point, and it's just washed out. But what I do want to do as someone who is actively doing this, currently doing this as their main source of income, I am telling you right now that I am more than qualified to speak on this. And majority of the other people who are speaking on it are simply just course sellers, and most of their income comes from teaching others how to do it rather than actively doing it themselves. In this video, I want to take you through step by step how to make this work for you, where to start, where to go, and how to succeed within this to produce numbers just like I have or even better. And then from there, if you stay until the end of the video, I'm going to show you the timeline that I use to scale from 0 to 15K within 5 days of launching this new model. All right, so the business model that I'm talking about is called growth operating. And it's basically where you build online communities for content creators who don't know how to monetize their audience and taking a rev share of whatever money the community makes. You're basically turning followers and viewers into dollars and monetizing the audience because the creator just simply doesn't have the time, knowledge, or skill set to do it themselves. Now, believe it or not, a good amount of the creators that you watch really don't know how to actually run businesses. And if they have thousands of followers, they're missing out on thousands of dollars. If they have a larger audience, they're missing out on potentially millions. But it's a case to make where any time that a creator is running an actual business, they have a ton of people, a team usually, on the back end running the operations of it because they just simply don't have the time. Fame does not always equate to money, and to make money out of fame, you usually need help. Now, understanding this brings me to my first point on how to actually make money growth operating. The first step to make money growth operating is to find a creator. For this, the creator does not have to have a large audience. This is a myth within the space, and I can tell you right now, I've seen people with only 2,000 followers make multiple tens of thousands of dollars a month. The reason for this is because the creator has a very valuable skill set and expertise to teach. It does not matter what size the audience is. The audience must deem the creator as an expert in their field, and they must want to learn how to get to that same desired situation that the creator's at. This means that an entertainment creator is not going to work, or it will work, it just won't produce the same amount of money that someone who's educational will. The specific type of education is the thing that really does change how much money you will make as a growth operator. If we look at niches, we have to understand that some niches are simply just going to make more money. For example, if you are working with a creator who helps their viewers start, run, and build a lawn care business, you're going to make way more money than helping a creator who's teaching people how to cook Italian dishes. They're just not on the same level. Now, I'll be honest, when I first stepped into growth operating, I was just reaching out to anyone, fitness creators, sports creators, cooking creators, and it didn't take long for me to realize that none of those niches were really that profitable. There's 3 main sectors that people buy into. It's health, wealth, and relationships. Honestly, wealth is going to be the easiest to sell. It's basically, if you give me money, I'm going to give you money back and teach you a skill set that will allow you to make money. And that's why helping others build their own businesses is so profitable. But me, myself, I'm working with a health-oriented creator, and I've been able to still get good results. So it doesn't really matter. It's just how good are you at operating behind that creator and giving the audience an offer that they simply just can't deny. All right, so you found your creator, maybe you messaged them already, you sent them a DM, sent them a loom, but step 2, which is very, very, very important to make this thing actually begin to spin, is closing the creator. In my opinion, sales is the best part of business. If you don't know how to get people to say yes, if you're not persuasive in what you do or what you can provide, you're really just not going to be good enough. So if you can't sell the creator, you definitely won't be able to sell his audience. The main way to get creators to say yes to you is by finding out exactly what makes you valuable to them. We understand that growth operating is already valuable in itself. You're basically helping creators build a business on the back end. But what makes them say yes to you instead of someone who actually has gotten results before if you haven't gotten any yourself? If you're a beginner who's just starting out, you must understand that no, you may not have results, you may not have case studies, but you do have leverage in an area that most others do not. Your personal leverage point is time. You have time to make this thing work to give your all into making this actually succeed. And that's something that majority of other people who are already working, who are already making money doing this, simply just don't have. If you already have results, you already have experience doing this, I mean, of course, selling these people is going to be way easier than if you're a beginner. But understand that everyone has leverage in their own sectors. If you're a beginner, you're just going to have to find it in the fact that you have the time to do it. And even if you don't, you have to sacrifice yourself in order to make this thing work. That's where your conviction must lie. Now, another thing that I saw that kind of correlates with closing a creator is building a ton of rapport with them. I mean, if we're understanding this model, it's a partnership. So a lot of the sales calls that I've seen and witnessed of operators and creators have been literal just conversations. Like they hop on a call expecting it to be some, sales offer, but in reality, it just turns to like an hour or 2 hour talk, like literally a talk. If we're talking about working together on the long term or taking a revenue share of business, there has to be some type of connection outside of just the money making side of things. All right, so finally, step 3 of this process involves just sacrifice, okay? So whether it's 15 days to a month, however long it takes for you to utilize and implement the skills that you need to make this launch as rewarding as possible. I'll be honest, like you do have to have some type of skill set to make this work. And if you don't have a skill set, then you're gonna have to fucking work, like genuinely work. But if I can give you a clear direction on where to go, if you don't know yet what skills you have to use, it'd be sales, copywriting, and advertising. So if you get better at those 3 things and you become a great marketer, you'll be able to make some type of success within growth operating. So what I'm gonna do now is flip over my screen and show you exactly what it took to take my creator from 0 to making 10K in 24 hours of our launch. All right, so here is the complete community timeline that we use for us to have the launch that we did. So this is really just a general consensus of everything. Of course, things are way more intricate than this, but I do wanna at least give you the inspiration that you need so that you can kill it with your creator and have an idea of what goes into this, okay? So just to start from the top, basically, we onboarded our creator, got him set up with the software, and then also created a weekly schedule that we'd be having calls with him. Then we had him create a questionnaire where within that we'd understand a bit of his life story so that when we start to market for him, we could put in the copy things that relate to his audience. And within that, we also did some researching so that we can understand the audience, the market in general. Okay, now this brings us to week 2. So in week 2, we started holding calls with his audience, one-on-one calls, basically getting an understanding of the problems that they had. So within the community, we can solve it, and there wasn't a lot of fluff. The point of entrepreneurship is to give people solutions to the problems that they have. So we want to make sure that there is a freaking problem to solve, and that's what these calls are crucial for. And within that, we started creating content after those calls to again speak to the audience publicly. And in the back end, we began making the community and just giving it the foundation that it needed so that we are not selling air and we actually have something valuable when people start to come in. Okay. Now week 3 is we're starting to prepare for marketing, and we start creating the video sales letter. On top of that, we're creating the modules for the curriculum inside the community, and then also promoting the waitlist finally at the end of the week publicly, because we want people to anticipate something coming up within the next few weeks, okay? This brings us to week 4. So week 4 is nurturing the audience. So of course, we're already shouting out the waitlist, saying that there is something coming, and now their eyes are on us. We have their attention, they're engaged, and during this time, we're finalizing the funnels that we're gonna drop in the community. At the end of the week, we start letting people in on the waitlist and giving those who join the waitlist early bird admission, and this is how exactly we were able to sell 10K in 24 hours. We had people anticipating this launch, so when we did finally open doors and sell them and charge them, they were ready to pay whatever out of pocket. Okay, now finally week 5 is the community launch, so it's actually announcing it publicly, and this is where I came in, and for the rest of the week I was basically sat here on my laptop closing people within the DMs and getting new members within the community. So yeah, that's everything we got. Hopefully this gives you a better idea of what goes into this, and yeah, bye. All right, so with everything that I just showed you, you got to understand that if you really want to win bad enough, you'll win. For us to get the turnout that we did, there was a ton of sacrifice that had to happen along the way. Me, I had to work 16-hour days consecutively from 5 a.m. to 12 a.m. sitting at my desk. I had to spend thousands of dollars on the exact mentorship that I needed so that I could dial in on what things I was missing out on. I had to subtract some things from my personal life so that I could make sure that I had a clear mind to get this launch as good as it could be. From this, this will basically pay for itself now. It's all about rerunning it, revising it, plugging and playing everything that we just did this first time, and just using it for future launches. To be exceptional, you have to be an exception. To be in the top 1%, you have to do what the top 1% are doing. You have to work the way they do. You have to subtract what you need to in order to think like they do. So in the midst of all this, the conclusion is growth, is the life that you want. Me, myself, looking at my past videos, making 2K within 10 days, I was a baby. Like that. Like with leverage and perspective, I see things totally different now. And I know even still now, I'm a baby. Like, I'm literally the smallest fish that there is. My point is, like, when you put the work in, when you lock in, when you do what you need to in order to get the result that you're wishing of, there has to be a ton of sacrifice. Like, you have to subtract some things. You can't keep going out with the same friends. You can't keep drinking on the weekends. You can't take drugs. You can't do what the fuck you were doing before. You have to become a totally different person. I don't work a job anymore. I make more than I ever had before. And I have full autonomy over my situation at just 19 years old. I get to choose how I live my life. And I honestly have fallen in love with the work. Now, if you're looking to get into growth operating or just business in general, I'll be dropping way more sauce in depth, showing you exactly what processes and tactics I've used to get to where I am now and what I will be using along the way. I've already helped other people, bad creators themselves, and become growth operators. So I do want to say that this model has worked for me. So I know for a fact that it could work for you and it could change your life. If you want to get in contact with me, drop a follow on Instagram, subscribe, and bye.